All right, folks, here are 5 digital tools to help you resist authoritarianism in 2025. Starting with the ACLU's Know Your Rights portal. So this allows you to go issue by issue and kind of go through some scenarios. For instance, if you're a protester and you've been detained or somebody's trying to violate your rights of free speech in one way or another, or maybe it's that you've been stopped by the police. So again, kind of are able to walk through different scenarios if you were arrested or the police are at your door. And lastly, immigrants' rights, an essential piece. Many reminders here that will be important in 2025. As some of these rights are eroded, we can at least kind of go with the existing laws and resist in that way. Second tool is abortionfinder.org. So this is an amazing resource for anybody who's looking for an abortion or who wants to help a friend looking to get an abortion. So unfortunately, abortion is very restricted in the United States right now, but it is not impossible to get an abortion even if you live in the South. You can find providers, you can travel there, you can even find funding and support, and Abortion Finder is going to help you do all of that. You simply enter your city, such as New York, and then you can select the first day of your last period, and it will calculate kind of how many weeks pregnant you are likely to be. And then you can also say, I don't know the first day of your last period. You select your age, and then you're off and finding a provider based on location. There are also telehealth providers here. So even if you live in a place that's very restrictive, you might have providers who can help you virtually. And yeah, just generally, you can learn about the types of abortion. You can find funding and support, again, by selecting what state you're in, what state you're going to, and then you can see different organizations that might help you out. And if you know the provider you want to work with, then you can even see a little bit about that particular provider and whether they offer direct support. The third resource is Signal. So this is essentially a text messaging app, except that it is fully end-to-end encrypted. So you may have heard this about WhatsApp as well. WhatsApp is equivalent, essentially, in that it's end-to-end encrypted. The only problem is that WhatsApp is owned by Meta, which is, also owns Facebook and Instagram. So they can essentially decide whether or not to access that data or hand it over to law enforcement. Signal is specifically run by the Signal Foundation and therefore going to be free forever and always protected, and they do as much as possible to protect the privacy of their users. So this is really essential for protest movements and other folks who are maybe organizing in a way that should be encrypted. Yeah, especially if you're under an authoritarian regime, might be important. Courtroom 5 is another great resource. So this is actually a place where if you can't afford a lawyer and you want to defend yourself in court, then this is a resource that helps you do that for $15 a month. Yeah, essentially helping you understand any legal implications. Honestly, helpful legal advice anyway. If you're caught up in a civil case for one reason or another, this is a good way to get very affordable and qualified legal representation. Last thing is 404 Media. So a great journalism outlet, independent journalist-funded media. So you'll be able to learn about things that are going on, like data breaches, but also like the way that tech billionaires might be influencing politics. So yeah, it's just an amazing journalism outlet focused on tech, but tech honestly permeates everything that we do these days, from AI to all of the websites we're visiting and all of the channels that we're using to communicate with each other. If you want to get super nerdy, you can go into their Freedom of Information Act forum archive and learn how they request information from the government, from public records. And there's also an amazing podcast that you can listen to. So highly recommend 404 Media. I hope that you find these resources helpful, and stay strong. We're going to need a lot of resilience in the days ahead, and we're in this together. Thanks for everything that you do to stand up for democracy and human rights. I appreciate you. Thanks.